After reading the caption of the broadcast, please do read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Yeah, tell them to join us. Maiyegun today, and Maiyegun is live. So tonight, we are starting with the rider, which is the kind of like question thrown the opposition, the coalition. So over the weekend, right, Tambuwal, the former governor of Sokoto State, at the same time the former Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nigeria, one of the arrowheads of the coalition talk. So he had his 60th birthday yesterday. So Atiku returned back to Nigeria from Dubai a day before, the night before. And they call it a colloquium, something, where they all came and used the occasion to talk about their 2027 plan. There are rumors, there are sort of like, face-offs here and there. However, yesterday, Tambuwal asked the opposition that are they more interested in zoning or winning? That is kind of where we're going to start this evening. But let's kind of welcome ourselves tonight with the return of Atiku. He's been living in Dubai. I hope you know that, right? Yeah, but lately, he's kind of like been spending enough time in Nigeria. But the past 2-3 weeks, it's been away. Same as Kolu. But let's start with the return of Atiku.
My neighbor, you are here.
So that was Atiku returning 2 nights ago. Now, let me kind of build context for this particular session, okay, this topic. Currently, right, it is almost like a PDP is literally dead, so to say. And majority of these supposed political bigwigs and the rest of them are congregating in ADC as the would be kind of like a platform where they are going to launch their removal of Tinubu in 2027 next year. However, many sort of like believe that the history of Atiku and his kind of like a co-travelers, this ADC of a thing could actually be like Atiku's Democratic Congress, something, ADC, as part of speculations. Okay, so because of this, right, there are those who believe that Peter Obi joining them, okay, is a complete miscalculation, because everybody, or the body language of almost everyone in their ADC seems to be tilting towards Atiku. And this is fueling the early breakup of the coalition, if that should be the case. However, at the colloquium for Tambuwal, where they had this birthday party yesterday, right? So a lot of them came out, said a lot of things about the reason why they have to rescue Nigeria, save Nigeria from Tinubu and APC. Something has to be done. And if the result is to be achieved, then it's got to be done differently. There are those, especially on the part of Tinubu, who somehow are pushing the narrative that Atiku is going to use Obi as his running mate, and Peter Obi has accepted to go and be his running mate. And there are others who believe that the pressure, or kind of the obsession that the Tinubu's camp are sort of like showing in public, seem that they would prefer Peter Obi as the ADC candidate. Consider all of this as part of the speculations and all that, right? But they're happening in real life, like seriously. So yesterday, when they met at what do you call his name, Tambuwal's birthday, right? The celebrant himself had this to say, but before that, right? Peter Obi and others, Peter Obi, Atiku, Amechi, all of them, including Obasanjo, were all there in the hall. Let's start with that. Let's start with that as well. Obi.
Is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. We'd like to thank Ibrahim Okola, former Minister of Energy and Malawi, for delivering the opening prayers. Please be seated. Thank you very much.
We commence, Auntie Virginia, please kindly allow me to ask everyone standing to please move to the sides. We have a place that is reserved for all aides. We've commenced this event and we are live on 3 distinct national television stations. We are live.
So that was Obi there, right? So there are those on the part who believes that it is the turn of the southern Nigeria, in quote. And since Tinubu is already from the south, spending 4 years, so it would be ideal for the coalition to take Peter Obi's offer of spending just 4 years, right? And then pave the way, if they win, pave the way for the power to be transferred back to the north. Others are like, no, it doesn't work like that. If Tinubu is to be defeated, in this sense, it's going to be a northerner who can actually rally the north. And Peter Obi on the other side could also rally the south and probably divide the Tinubu's supposed vote for this northerner. Just first thing first, before you can talk about zoning, you need to take the power first. That's what Tambuwal told his friends. And it's actually a long speech. I want you to please listen for every part of it. Yeah.
Are we looking for zoning or winning? No, I didn't hear you. We want to win election. Yes. Now, with due respect, what I'm going to say, I do not mean any offense. I've seen my leader on this M2 coming, and I'm going to use your state I'm going to use your state as a reference point. And with due respect to the people of the Plateau, I will use your state as another reference point. We had an election in Anambra State. The governor of Anambra State won the election with 112,000 votes. The person next to him, the PDP candidate, secured about 53,000 votes. The third, the APC candidate, had 24,000 votes. The fourth, YYP candidate, had about 20,000 votes. Put together in that state election, governorship, we had about 220,000 votes in between 4 political parties. Jos Basa Federal Constituency in Plateau State, where PDP won. The PDP candidate had about 47,000. PRP, 30. PDP 40. PDP 40,000. PRP 37. Then APC 26. If you add this, it's close to 100,000. Federal constituency election. So demography is an issue. Demography is an issue. That was why after the election, I appealed to PDP to look at these elections and be studying elections and by-elections as we progress towards 2023. APC took their ticket to Katsina in 2015, Katsina, where the last president of PDP, Umar Musa Yar'Adua, died in office in 2010. 5 years later, APC, out of strategic thinking, with Bola Tinubu, he's there, and the rest of them. I was part of it. We said we are looking for how to win. We must get power before we share it. And deliberately, we took APC tickets to Katsina and gave it to President Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, Atiku Abubakar contested, Rabi Musa contested, and some in that, and Rochas Okorocha, but we all knew where we were going because we were determined to win. And let me tell you, had APC given that ticket to someone from the South, in particular South, we couldn't have won. Go and check the election results of 2007. President Buhari had 11 million votes before, in 2003. But in 2011 and 7, he had 7 million votes against Yar'Adua because they are from the same Katsina. And he couldn't win him. Buhari and Yar'Adua ran. He couldn't win him. Now, this is for PDP. In the South, as of today, PDP is in 8 government houses. APC is also in 8 government houses, leaving 1. That's Anambra. In the North, APC is in 14 government houses. PDP is in 5 government houses. And they have the president. So I'm giving you this analysis so that together as leaders of our party who are working towards winning election, not zoning, not winning ticket. Yes, you can share ticket because you can tear it and everybody will take his piece and go to his zone. But you must plan to win election. That is the reality of it. It's not anybody's making. I didn't make myself to come from Sokoto, a Fulani man. No, it's God. God could have decided for me to be born somewhere else, not even in Nigeria. So we must accept these realities as a party and work with these realities to win election. After winning, we come down and say, okay, let's share this thing. Let's share power. Win election first. Don't win zoning, no. Win election, and then we come and share power. Because the president and the vice president cannot come from the same zone. They cannot even come from the same region. Am I right? Yes. In fact, they can hardly be of the same faith. If you have president and vice president, Muslim, dead on arrival in the current Nigerian situation. If you have president and vice president, Christian, dead on arrival. So you must balance the ticket. And we'll sit down and look at, okay, Senate President, this. We cannot do what APC has done, especially this second term. Because we believe in this country, we know this country, we understand the dynamics and complexities of Nigerian nation. Otherwise, how else would you look at the lineup in a federal government like Nigeria? President, Vice President, Senate President, Speaker, Deputy Senate President, Deputy Speaker, SGF, Chief of Staff, even Chairman of Party, none from Southeast. We can't do that. Well, we are involved. I am involved. That cannot happen. So what we need is inclusiveness. We get power, we have inclusiveness, and accommodation for each other, transparency, and then we run the country. To be president of Nigeria requires a lot of energy. Not boxing, no. And intellectual capacity. You need to understand Nigeria itself.
Right. So you can say indirectly, he's just being kind of like a politically honest in his own way. No pretense. Because politicians might want to make you believe that they love Nigeria so much, this, and that. Right? But the primary thing that drives them is that power. So he's being honest, like in a little way. And that's what people are telling Peter Obi himself as well. Like, you see all these your ideas, all this, Baba, you be president first. Go be president first. Before you can then carry out all those ideas, or else you will just end up like a normal motivational speaker or motivational speakers, right? Like that. So the bottom line for them is that their permutation, especially this ADC towards, their permutation towards 2027 is a northern candidate. There are those who have suggested that, Peter Obi sort of like endears himself to this younger generation in their sizable number. Like, if accordingly, right, if their election is probably free and fair, he's got that sentiment with them. And to them, it's sort of like it can relate with them or they can relate with him. So many of them feels like, okay, if he's going to mingle with the known career criminals, right, he should possibly lead the pack. Something that others are like, politically, for these guys, right, it's not really going to happen. And APC, by design or by their own wish, right, they would want Peter Obi because they can easily go back to the north and, push the idea of the infidel and all that stuff again. And possibly to say, oh, Tinubu is just about to finish his term. His second term is just 4 more years and the power will come back to the north. And that sentiment can possibly move there. But the drama is really about to get started in a nutshell. There are those who are already also suggesting that they could pair this Tambuwal and Obi, and Atiku can possibly push his own, sort of like his own supporters behind them and maybe back them. There are many other complicated issues behind though, but this is just on the surface. And there is still so much to unravel. So from their conversation yesterday, it seemed that indeed they are just about to, hit the road running, like concerning how far this their groupings or their coalition is probably going to last. Because to Ayo Fayoche, who was also on